my name is Ra, and this is Splatoon 3 predictions. With Splatoon 3 getting closer and closer, and Splatoon 3 news becoming more likely to appear in the next Direct, which is on the 23rd of this month, so make sure to tune in live to be able to see it all unfold. Now, I wanted to share some predictions and thoughts that I have on the new installment before more information arrives, so here are my predictions for Splatoon 3. In terms of weapons, I think that most of, if not all, the weapons are returning, most likely with redesigns or stat changes. I do believe that some specific weapons might not make the cut, but the overarching weapon classes will return, like dualies and umbrellas. I also believe that the new bows will be their own new class and not a charger, because the spawn-in animation is different than the charger, and it would be pretty weird to show off a new charger for the intro for Splatoon 3. In comparison, that'd be like using the Goo Tuber as the focus point of Splatoon 2, rather than the dualies. Now for returning clothing. I see a good amount coming back, but there will obviously be some new brands to fill the gaps, along with new clothes from existing brands like Ten Attack, for example. And with new gear comes new abilities, like improved Squid Roll and Squid Surge, most likely. Side note, Man Power Up is great and all, but how about it does more creative things, like increasing charge or storage time, and not damage? Brands and abilities aside, the fashion of Splatoon 3 seems more rugged and gritty than the original, or 2, and can make for some pretty sweet outfits unlike what we've seen before. I know that I'm not really one to talk about Splatoon 1 stages, having never played it, but I do have a pretty strong opinion on stages returning to Splatoon 3. I don't think or really want any stages to return. Now I know that a lot of Splatoon 1 maps could make for good candidates, but by the way the game is set up, I just don't see it happening. I think that a lot of maps will be based on previous ones and give the same kind of feeling when playing on them. There'll probably be bigger areas due to the spawn cannons and have some chaos element to make things interesting. For example, the conveyors on Piranha Pit or the single player elements like dash tracks on the shifty stations. However, maps based on maps like Urchin Underpass and Flounder Heights would be a really cool addition to Splatoon 3. Specials in and of themselves are chaotic and can turn the tides of battle instantly. This was the case for Splatoon 1 and 2, but now, in the City of Chaos, we're going to have to step up our game. Specials in Splatoon 3 are most likely going to be drastic and have major effect on the flow of the game. I can easily see both new and remixed versions of old specials come into play, with more powerful effects and improved mechanics while still being more balanced than the original game. And because of the inevitable chain of buffs and nerfs, we already know that almost every special is going to be awesome, and then crushed to dust a few moments after launch. Let's talk single player. The hero mode for Splatoon 2 is really fun, but pales in comparison to the Octo expansion, so a more diverse single player with unique enemies would be perfect for the game. My thoughts are that we'll be fighting with the Salmonids against AI Grisco workers. We've already seen extremely advanced AI in Splatoon, so the mechanics could be pretty cool. Like, maybe a level where you have to defend a stash of golden eggs from Grisco workers, which would be pretty powerful and have to all be splattered at the same time to win, because they can resurrect each other. A new dive into the Salmonid lore is unavoidable, and a new collection of Omega 3 music would be really interesting for single-player music, rather than just Octarian music. As a final note, I believe that the final boss or antagonist will be the entity behind Mr. Grizz, or some third-party entity we haven't seen yet. All these aspects combined can make for a really awesome story mode that's not just about saving the Zapfish. Of course, I saved the best for last, being the topic of apartments. I think that apartments are going to be in Splatoon 3 based on the plaza scene in the trailer, but be like the shops in previous games, being unexplorable. I think that it will just be a place to view stats, set clothing presets, and display favorite weapons. It probably will have a customizable layout, having to pay for other backgrounds that can be seen. I might be wrong though, and the apartments might actually be full 3D areas to customize like Animal Crossing. I do hope that there is a use for money other than what we already have, which is pretty limited, as is. Maybe we could buy albums from our favorite bands to play in our apartments, or have new hairstyles that are locked. And that's all for this video today, and if you make it this far, please consider subscribing. I plan on making more Splatoon 3 content in the future, so don't miss out. Anyways, my name is Ra, and I'll see you in the next one.